Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of, or episode 0 if you will, of Rewind to Retro. Basically this is my new ongoing series that I hope to do once a week on YouTube. I want to try and get back into rhythm of doing things and talking about things which are particularly close to my heart. If you've read my blog, which I'll link in the description box below, I'm posting a lot of stuff to do with the good old days, and as the intro, which you would have seen before, I said it's time to go back to the good old days, of whenever you were a kid and, you know, like you didn't have money matters, you didn't have anything wrong with you, you know, like you were just happy-go-lucky and enjoyed what you had in front of you, like some of the stuff behind me. Yeah, so this is going to be like a review show where I will take a certain item. So it could be an action figure, Prince Adam, thanks for ordering, a TV show with Ghostbusters, a TV show which is still going on, as in like Doctor Who, old stuff to do with Doctor Who. Could be a film such as A Wizard with Fred Savage, California. If you haven't seen this film, well, I can't really talk about it because I'll do a review of that at some stage, but they play the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in it. So it could be a video game, or it could be a comic. Yeah, Brave Star, Filmation, Duchambre. Yeah, so it could be any one of those things where I will talk about one item in particular. It doesn't have to, you know, obviously I'm going to say that anything, well, obviously we're in 2017 now, so anything really from me 2004 would kind of be classed as retro, but it just really depends on what I'm looking to do. Obviously with me being more old school, it would probably be a lot of 80s, 90s stuff, but just in case there's like a certain video game that I want to talk about that was released around the 2000s, I'll talk about that. So it kind of just gives me, I don't want to say up until 1990 and then something, oh, I really want to talk about that, and it's like, no Chris, you said 2000s. So yeah, so that's the way I want to try and do it going forward, so I hope you stick with me for the journey. But today I'm going to talk about something that was newly released, you say? Yes, newly released, but it is something that kind of harks back to then, which was the mini Super Nintendo. Now, Nintendo obviously last year brought out the Nintendo Classic, which if you want one now, good luck, unless you want to pay, you know, near enough treble the price at some retailers in store or on eBay. I haven't actually had a look on eBay for this because I don't need to. I got this from Nintendo for $69.99 and free shipping and everything, which was great. It comes with 2 controllers. Now with Nintendo you will find on a lot of things, apart from 2DS's, how it work with games, I know this, it'll say AC adapter is not included, but with HD TVs nowadays you can plug it in via USB on the side of your HD TV. So why am I reviewing this here? Well, the Super Nintendo is fond memories for me, especially of this guy down here, Yoshi and Mario. This is the only game that my mum has ever sat down and played. The only time I've ever heard somebody call a certain level, you know, like there was one where if you got like his infamous cape, and she called that Birds of a Feather. I don't know why, but she still calls it that to this day. I have no idea why, but anyway. So yeah, so you have 20 games plus another game on the back. So we shall have a look here. So you have Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, F-Zero, Secret of Mana. What's that? Super Castlevania, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Contra, Earthbound, Super Punch-Out. Then here you have Super Metroid, Star Fox, Final Fantasy 3, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario Kart, Mega Man, Kirby Superstar, Kirby Dream Course, Super Mario Island 2, Yoshi's Island, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Plus the extra one game is Star Fox 2, which you can see down here, which was never released as a cartridge. It was released as like an online emulator, like a ROM thing where you could play that way. But I played it for about 5 minutes and And I could see why it was never released, but on the back of these, apart from maybe Final Fantasy, all these games I would sit down and play. Super Mario World, especially if I had to rank them in order of what I would play, Super Mario World would be number one. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is one of the hardest games I've ever played. If you've ever completed that game without cheating, my hat's off to you, because I got to level 4 or 5, and that's whenever I kind of all went downhill for me. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, obviously. Super Mario Kart, obviously. And to throw a curveball in there, Super Mario RPG. Think Final Fantasy, but with Mario. The turn-based battles. Very much like the same kind of style that Paper Mario is done these days. So that's something that I would highly recommend you do. So, they say it's a mini. This is the size of it. Now, to put it in perspective of how small it is, that's the size of it. Now, obviously the reset button still works, and that's how you actually turn it on. So, but on the back here you have your HDMI port and your USB port. But cleverly, if you do that, that's where the controllers go. So, if you have a Wii and you have one of the classic controllers, they actually fit in there. That's actually what the port looks like there. So that's what it actually looks like, which I thought was very snazzy. And obviously with it being so small, obviously the cartridges from the Super Nintendo don't fit in that because of how small it is. Now, one big gripe about this the classic NES was the leads for the controllers. The controller leads were ridiculously short. Thankfully, I'd like to say that Super Nintendo one is quite long. With the NES one, you were talking maybe I could actually have done that, and that was about the height, and that's probably being generous. And obviously the controller is the classic Super Nintendo style controller. Nothing, haven't changed anything about it. It's still all the same kind of buttons and everything, and it just feels nice. It feels right to play a Super Nintendo game with a Super Nintendo controller, rather than playing it on, say, like the likes of your Nintendo 3DS, which obviously you can do now as well. But yeah, it's nice to have your two controllers for that as well. Obviously, the graphics are very much the same kind of style. They haven't upped that or anything. Obviously, if you're playing on a big 50-inch TV, as I am, there is black borders down the side. I think it runs at the same. Obviously, we have the Super Nintendo in America, and Japan was the Super Famicom. I think it still runs around the same, if not a bit higher, so it may run at 60 frames per second. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it's not something that I really like, oh my god, this runs slow, or I'm not going to complain about not having, not having a certain game on it. These are obviously Nintendo licensed games, hence why it's on this. I would have loved to have, say, the likes of Turtles in Time or the Super Star Wars games, but because they aren't Nintendo based games, that's why it's like that. Very much like with the NES, it was the same kind of. Obviously, going forward, if next year we get a mini N64, you would expect the likes of Super Mario 64, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 64, Yoshi's Story, that kind of thing to be on that. You wouldn't expect the likes of, say, WWF No Mercy or something like that to be on that, because that wouldn't happen. It's a Nintendo item, so therefore they would put on their own stuff. Make sense? Yes. So that's that there. But I've been playing it for a bit. What I'm going to try and do at the end of this is try and put some gameplay footage at the end. I don't know how it's going to work out, so it may happen, it may not happen, but we'll just wait and see. But I just wanted to come on and kind of give a quick review about this. Obviously, all these games, I haven't played all of them yet. I've only played some of them, but hearing your favourite soundtracks from the likes of Corneria on Star Fox, or that opening that opening kind of reggae style music for Super Mario World is terrific, and it just brings back a lot of good memories for me especially. If you're looking to get one, good luck is all I can say. Nintendo have said that they will be bringing out more of these than they did the classic NES, so there is a chance just stay in touch with your local retailer, hit them up on Facebook or Twitter, and that way, if any of them become available, that's normally where they will post them, or send them a direct message on Facebook and see. As Reggie said from Nintendo, don't be going on eBay and paying stupid prices for these, because knowing my luck, if I was to do that, then one would come in their local retailer and that would be that. So yeah, so that's my review. Super Nintendo. If you can find one, get one. You'll not regret it. Especially if you have kids and you're looking to show them what you've played back in the day. Some of these games, the graphics still hold up. The likes of Mario World, Zelda, Donkey Kong. A lot of these here with a Nintendo, because it's cartoony, they don't really age. Whereas if you look at the likes of, say, GoldenEye, which again wouldn't be on the N64 sadly, if you're looking at the likes of that, that just looks really bad now, because it's trying to be really modern, and unfortunately it doesn't look it. So yeah, hopefully I'll have some gameplay at the end of this here, but thank you very much for watching. Join me again next week. It won't be out every Tuesday or something like that. It just depends whenever I have time to film it and what have you. So yes, join me again as we rewind to retro, and thank you for coming along with the ride, and until next time.